Yo, what's good, y'all? We live right here, Facebook Live, streaming. Hey, Time to Shine Radio, yo. It's your girl, Moo Legend. We live right here with our first guest. It's your girl, Moo Legend, and my boy.
Yo, it's the one and only Joel, and we have the one and only Sean Freeman with us here tonight.
What's good, Sean Freeman? How are you?
I'm great, man.
You got to speak it to the mic, man.
Let's bring it up. Hey, I'm great, everybody. What's going on?
What's good? What's good? Introduce yourself to the people.
Well, you know, I don't want to brag too much, but I'm Sean Freeman, young black man out here doing great things, man. I'm blessed. I'm an actor, a writer, a scholar, a bit of a soul rebel, just, you know, trying to live a fulfilling life.
So let's take it back. Before Sean Freeman became Sean Freeman, so take us back to Ozark Dothan, where you were Derek Kennedy.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. So I know this is news to you.
Yes.
And I can talk. I was trying to save my voice for the camera. Yeah. Funny thing is, okay. So my birth name is we good?
Yeah, we good. Sorry.
Cool. Yeah. So my birth name is Derek LaShawn Kennedy. Mm-hmm. What's going on?
Yeah, good. Go ahead.
Cool. Yeah. So my birth name is Derek LaShawn.
Whoa.
My bad.
I guess he's saying that the music is too loud.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay. My bad. Go ahead.
It's cool. A lot of light shining out here. It's cool. We can start it back. But yeah, I was saying that my birth name, or my legal name, my government name is Derek LaShawn Kennedy. So Sean is in there. That's me. That's my middle name. I just changed the spelling to something more aesthetically pleasing to myself. I like SEAN versus SHAWN. It's just,
right.
You know, Diddy, Jay-Z, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, the last name Freeman is just like, it's symbolic and representative of the type of person I want to be in the world, just a free man.
Okay.
So that's what I rocked with. But yeah, back home, people call me Tank. That's my childhood nickname. Like, none of my cousins, aunts, uncles call me, on my mom's side, call me Derek or Sean. It's Tank.
Okay.
Cousin Tank.
Cousin Tank.
That's it.
Like Cousin Pete, but Cousin Tank.
Cousin Pete.
So where did Tank come from?
I think it was my head.
Okay.
Yeah, my mama, she never confirmed, she never yay or nay anything, but I think it was the size of my head when I was a baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So walking up into this journey, so how does one? Because I know, you know, people out there always asking, how do you get to the big screen? How do you become an actor? Because, you know, it's a lot of factors, and everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own situation.
Definitely.
But what was yours?
All right. I'm gonna break that down into one question.
Okay.
How do you? Man, this may upset a few people, but this is the honesty. This is the honest truth from my experience. Before you want to do anything, I don't care how nice and glamorous and accessible it seems, you know, in other people's lives. If you don't have this innate thing, this real niche, or this real like connectiveness to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve or attain, I just don't think it's really gonna work out as you think it would. You know what I mean? And so I would first say that, is it really in you to do it?
That's number one.
That's number one. You know, straight up, did God or the divine, did the creator give it to you? And for me, I believe he did. So at a young age, I just kind of dove into performing arts at the Boys and Girls Club. And I kind of eventually learned that it was a viable career choice if I don't know, made that decision. So after college, hey man, I left my my traditional job, and I just went to New York and I tried to hit the ground running. So that's how it worked out for me, man. And thank God doors have been opening since. Yeah.
So being an actor, you've been on stage, and also you've been in front of the screen. Which one do you prefer, and which one is the hardest?
Man, look, Viola Davis, don't kill me. Shout out to Vi, because she gonna watch this. She gonna watch it. I never can answer that question truthfully, but I think they both offer something, honestly. On the stage, you get this transactional exchange with like the audience. You know, you can hear the ahs and the oohs, you know what I mean? Whereas on film, it may be an electric scene, but you filmed it maybe 10 to 12 times until it was perfected. So that's a magic that the cinema doesn't have. But on the flip side, that's a magic that I love in the cinema, because if can we curse on this podcast? No. If I F up in a scene, you know what I mean? If I F up in a scene, you know, we can just run it back. For sure. So they both offer something, man. But which one do I enjoy more? Being in front of the camera. Absolutely.
Okay. And as an actor, everyone have their own technique. So what technique do you use to remember your lines?
Old school, repetition. Read it about 30,000 times and read it again. Read it again. If you want to get all, fancy, you can write it down. You know, you can download certain apps to help you memorize your lines or learn them, but I'm old school. I just read it over and over again.
But like, does that become annoying? Like,
big time. Because by the time you get on stage, or by the time you're in front of the camera doing your thing, you've already rehearsed it a million times. So that excitement or that eagerness or that sadness or whatever emotion you're feeling, you've already played that in your head 1,000 times. So it's easy to allow yourself to go into a place where it seems predictable, but you want to stay on your feet and make sure it's like this is your first time presenting it. So it's agitating in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, do you get frustrated when other people don't know their lines? He's like, let me take a sip on that.
Yo, we didn't plan that. I swear, man, I already have my hand on the bottle. Dang, that sounds shady. It happens, sure.
Okay, for sure.
What I mean? Thank God I haven't been in many productions where my castmates weren't too prepared, so it hasn't happened too often. But it can kind of mess up the flow.
That's good.
So, have you ever been in a position as to where you had to water down your acting because you didn't want to overshadow the next person?
I mean, I felt that in life in general.
Okay.
I mean, that transcends the stage and the cinema. But sure, I feel like sometimes I may have made a conscious effort to tone it down a little bit, but I mean, it happens. It happens.
It happens.
It even happens in corporate America. Sometimes you don't want to know more than your boss. So
So what's a day in a life like with Sean Freeman? Like, what's your day like?
I wish I had a schedule to just I wish I had a profound outline of that, but I really don't.
Okay.
It's a very sporadic lifestyle. This week it may be I got to wake up at 5 and be on set by 6:30.
Okay.
The next 2 weeks there may not be a job, so it's a whole different thing. But ideally, I'm gonna wake up, do my little prayer meditation for about 15 seconds. I ain't gonna lie and cap and say it's been an hour.
Okay.
And and whatever's on the agenda, get to it.
Okay.
Answer a few DMs, a few emails if they're coming in. I try to keep my family in the loop.
Okay.
And, I just hit the ball, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the industry, when you're filming 2 projects, how does one juggle both projects?
Time management.
Very important.
So does the production crew work around your schedule, or do you work around their schedule?
I mean, if you're Denzel, man, or Halle Berry, sure, yeah, they're gonna bend and flex, but no, if you're coming up, you better work on their schedule, or you can just haul ass and they'll hire somebody else. But to be fair, for anyone who's watching, don't be fearful of that. Normally, they ask you for your availability, and you already know ahead of time before you give them that yes or that no.
Okay.
And have you ever turned down a project that you look back on and was like, I regret it?
Yeah, I had a few. I've only had my agent. Well, November of this year will be 2 whole years, so I'm relatively fresh with the union work. But yeah, there've been a few auditions I quote unquote turned down, and then I've seen it air on television, and I was like, well, damn.
So what does it take for you to actually turn down an actual role?
I mean, not to be cliche, but it's. If I connect with the material, is this gonna put a certain image or message out into the world that I don't necessarily stand beside? Or to be honest, after you put your work in for a few years, and Charlemagne the God says once you put the weed in the bag, which is you take it one day at a time and get on the ground hustling, you feel like that $25 for that hour, I think I'm cool on that. I'll make room for something that I think is a little more worth my time. So
I got you.
Yeah.
So going forward, what does Sean Freeman have coming up for 2022? What can we expect?
I mean, Now, glory to God, y'all. I have, unless of course it just doesn't come out. That's a part of the business.
Okay.
I mean,
it happens.
Even Hilary Swank, Tom Hanks can book a movie and they shoot it and then, oops, they didn't back up the footage or they got me.
Because the same thing happens in the music industry because album gets shelved.
Literally. So God willing, if everything airs, I have a commercial I shot back in December with Volkswagen.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was in the car. We plugging in the whole electric thing. So I'm looking forward to that to air. Me, Reginae Carter. Shout out Nay. I'll make sure I send this to you. Lil Zane, Clifton Powell. We all did a movie. I was the male lead.
Okay.
Yeah, we shot that back. Yeah, we shot that back in October. So that should be on like Tubi, Amazon, some film festivals coming up this year.
Okay.
And lastly, not lastly, but most certainly, Tales with BET, Irv Gotti.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm in episode 303.
What?
Co-star role. Yeah, man. So
what song?
I don't know if I can say that.
Okay,
but
okay.
I think it's a Ja Rule song. I put it
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So I'm looking forward to show my grandma, man. Hey, I'm actually acting.
You actually
actually acting.
What was fun about that, working with Irv Gotti?
Here's the crazy part. We did the whole FaceTime. It was cool. I'm trying to keep it like, okay, hey, how you doing, Mr. Gotti? And then they hear
Gotti.
Well, Gotti, you know. But it was cool. I got on set. We literally didn't speak. He was in grind mode. The only thing he told me on set was, hey, smile a little bit more on that take. We're going to do it again. Make sure we get a big smile.
Okay. Period.
That was it.
And he was cool with that.
And he was cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you work with him again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Who wouldn't you work
great.
with again?
Who wouldn't I?
Ooh, say
You know,
it.
well, fortunately, no one comes to mind. Oh, you're funny. Oh, Joel's funny.
He got jokes.
He got a person in mind.
Okay.
I do not.
Nah, honestly, I'm gonna be mature and be honest. I believe any relationship, anything, within reason, you have an area of like redemption. If you have a certain conversation with somebody and things seem to be better and we have an understanding, I don't think there's too many people I wouldn't work with again if it was right.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay. And what advice could you offer actors who's just starting out?
Learn all you can learn. I don't care if you're an actor, you're a musician, you're a spoken word artist, a banker. You need to know what's going on. You need to know the language, the lingo, the culture, the business of it. Right. Because Tyler Perry or Ava DuVernay or Steven Spielberg can call you tomorrow. But if you have no idea how to read the script, how to analyze a character, if you don't know where your placement is, if you don't know anything other than I like to act, you'll get through the door, but are you going to sustain? Or is it going to be, are you going to be able to maintain it? So I say, hey, forget the whole, hey, plug me in with somebody. Know what you need to know so when you're plugged in, you're good to go.
Right. So most actors, they always aim for...
I didn't even rehearse it.
So most actors, they usually aim for the Emmy, the Oscar, and the Tony. So you've done small screen, big screen, and stage, and you also sing. So are you looking for that EGOT status in the long run?
Okay, come on, EGOT. Come on, EGOT.
I wouldn't turn it down.
Okay.
But I'm going to keep it a buck. Like Kanye West said, I just watched this documentary. I don't know if y'all saw the first episode
on Netflix,
or not.
not yet.
Yeah, but his mom was like, even the giant looks in the mirror and doesn't see himself. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't like pride yourself and be confident. But like, even if you are a giant, if you've got the EGOT, you're still like treat yourself as if you're somebody, but you ain't too damn big yet. You know what I mean? So that ain't my goal, but it would be beautiful if I had it.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I like that. So where can everybody find Sean Freeman at online? I
mean, y'all can Google me, SEAN Freeman. But to be real, Instagram, Facebook, they're all Sean Freeman. SEAN FREEMAN ____.
Thank you so much, Sean, for your time today. And any last shout outs you want to give?
Hey, thank y'all for having me.
No doubt.
Thank y'all for having me.
Time to shine, y'all. Yep. We out here. We lit. Thank you so much. For sure. All right, y'all. We back. We back. Time to Shine Radio, y'all. It's your girl, New Legend. We rocking with my boy down here.
The one and only Joel.
Hey, and we got my boy Mike Furby in the building. What's Gucci?
What's good, Moo Legend?
Hey. Welcome, Mike. So thank you so much for coming today.
No doubt. Anytime.
Take time out your busy schedule and things like that. So introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, so I'm Mike Furby. A lot of people don't introduce me as that, but they call me Ferb. I'm an entrepreneur, a creator, and I'm just somebody that's trying to make an impact in my community out here. So, I'm a little bit in the music game, do some managing and some writing.
Okay.
I heard y'all was talking to somebody earlier about acting.
Yeah.
So I got my foot in there.
Okay.
Also,
I see a jack of all trades.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm a businessman. To be honest, she'll tell you I'm an investor, man, and I'm a creator. So I try to work hard at the things I like doing, focus on what I like doing and what I'm actually good at. So a lot of times I love giving. I love giving back, and I like creating things, man. I was creating collages before I even knew what they were.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That was like gifts I was giving to my pops.
Wow.
So growing up, what was your passion?
Writing.
Wow.
Writing, if I had to say it, writing.
So writing R&B music or rap?
Originally, I didn't start writing music until I was about in high school, but I was writing poems, since I was 8 years old, for sure.
Wow.
And I got poems. I feel like some of my poems then are better than the ones now. Because, we complicate things as we get older.
That's true. We overthink things, too.
And so do you plan on publishing those?
Yeah, so I have a children's book out right now. That was my first thing that I published.
Loves the kids.
Yep, it's called The Fly Swatter. You know, it's a children's book for little kids. You know, something you read before they go to bed.
Right.
You know, we got another book we're working on. I'm actually working with I don't know if y'all know Upside Down A. We're working on a movie we're gonna enter into the film festival as well. So,
Oh, nice.
Come on, film festivals.
yeah, man, she did a crazy script. We got to talking about it, and I'm excited about that.
So, are you behind the scenes or in front of the scenes?
I'm also gonna be in the scene. I'm working my way up. I'm gonna be in front of the camera too. You know what I mean? Because I love doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. It's fun. I'm a Sagittarius.
Come on,
I'm a
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, so you know we already like to get into the characters. So
We do.
So, since you're accustomed to being behind the scenes and in front of the scene, how tough are you on yourself when you're in front of the camera?
in front of the camera, I am extremely tough. But I learned, you know, and with Moo Legend over here, my homie, I learned from different people, consistency has helped me, like, to not be as nervous. I used to be so on myself. I watch the videos after and be like, man, why I ain't wipe my lip? Why, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I realized it's like, you just got to be consistent. You get more comfortable. So I am hard on myself, but even I just focus that as soon as I get negative, I go ahead and be like, am I being consistent enough? If I got time to be hard on myself, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So.
Wow. And where you from, Furby?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been here since I was 6 years old.
Brady, baby?
Nah. So I'm glad you asked that. A lot of people, I'm
Sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good. I represent Atlanta so hard. A lot of people don't realize I wasn't born in Atlanta. I was born in Charleston. I like to tell people my first language is Gullah Geechee. You know what I'm saying?
Geechee,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So you say that you're from Atlanta, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure that you heard the song that says, if you're from so-and-so, then you're not from Atlanta.
So
what part of Atlanta are you from?
Okay, so I'm from like the Mableton, South Cobb area. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
That's where I'm from. But my mom actually came out here at 22 years old and moved out there with 5 kids at 22 years by herself.
Wow.
So I rep Atlanta for a different reason because my mom came here, and if you saw her now, she just turned 50.
What?
My mama just turned 50, you know what I'm saying? Her youngest is 27. She doing her thing. So for her to be able to come here in the city, for her to be able to change her life and do what she needed to do, I got to rep Atlanta.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then if I go back to Charleston out there, it's going to be some people. I got cousins and family, but they going to be like, you can't rep here. You ain't from here. You been going since you 6. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't ready. That's how y'all talk
Yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah. I ready to go, boy.
Right. That's what's up. So let's talk about the Mudmen, man. How did the Mudmen Foundation, the 501(c), tell people about that?
Okay, so Mud Made Men is a foundation. It's a nonprofit. It's a 501(c)(3), and I'm also a veteran as well. So I was overseas. I was in Afghanistan, and I got my first bonus. It was my first year completion. I got my first bonus, and the first thing I knew I wanted to do, I always loved to give, like for real. And I used to get hard on myself because I thought people was like taking advantage. You know, when you're a giver, you got to protect it.
Yeah.
But I was like, how can I give and still be a good businessman without showing people the wrong example of like just wasting your money or giving to people that may not, you know, it's a bad investment, regardless if you feel like you want to give it. So I realized with a 501(c)(3), you can actually give to people and help people, and you're still tax exempt. And those people that donate are tax exempt as well. So I actually went in 2016, started that back in February. So we just hit our 5 year. Wow. So started that from over there, did all the paperwork. And when I got back home, work, got the 501(c)(3) status. So now this year we really got kicking. We actually just did haircuts for Mays High School last week. So we're doing all the schools in the city. Shout out to Centric Barber Lounge. All those barbers volunteer their time. So we go out, cut those high school kids. That way they don't have to worry about having a job to get haircuts and playing basketball. Some of them kids are role models already.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So was that just like a one-time thing for them, or how did y'all set it up?
We do different schools.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just we come out there, we give them some food, we talk to them, mentor them, play around with the basketball, you know, let them know it's cool people that, you know, because these schools in the city.
Right.
Some of them kids you might see on a Friday night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's cool for them to see, like, I'm not just seeing this dude when it's time to go out. I'm not just seeing this dude when it's time to wear designer. He coming back to the school.
Right.
Because these kids at these schools, they going to be the next leaders. You know what I'm saying? Thanks. So I'm big on that. My my inspiration on giving in the nonprofit really comes from first my mom and then my pops that raised me. Okay. Man, he stepped in our life, and he ain't had to do that.
Right.
He didn't have to do that.
So your mom and then the pop that raised you embedded that in you. So do you mentor others on how to start a nonprofit?
Absolutely. Every person that deals with me, I tell them from the jump. Like even with Dre at Centric Barber, I told him from the jump. I said my goal is to make sure that you understand how this works, so that you can get your own 501c3, because we can still work together.
Right.
And another thing is I'm a creative person. It's tough because a lot of people don't think like this. I try to go away from competition all the time. There's a lot of people say, you got to be competitive. I get it. You know, the meaning of life is not universal, so I get it. For you, that's what you got to do. But for me, I try to focus on being creative. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if I'm helping enough people get what they want, then I'll probably eventually get what I want.
So with the competitive route, do you think it's a culture thing?
Yes.
That's a good
question. Yes. Yep. Yeah. I like the way you said that too. A lot of people say, "Oh, is it black, right?" Oh, culture is about where you're at, how your nature and your nurture. Yeah. So when I traveled, I realized, like, oh man, as Americans, I love America.
Right.
And because I'm here, I was born here. My mom was born here. That's I love America first and foremost.
Right.
But we can be kind of like Americans. We think we know certain things, and we are very competitive to the point where it's like, man, the stuff I want, I have to create.
Right.
So you can't compete for something that I haven't created yet. You feel me? That doesn't mean that I don't have to study the grades and I don't have to acknowledge other people that are in the same lane. But I don't got to compete. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and you know, I got the dogs too. You know what I'm saying? So I breed Frenchies and everything. So I give that example. You know, it's like you got your own bloodline. It's kind of like nobody can create what you have. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Shout out to my Frenchie people out there. I couldn't get on here.
Come on, Frenchie.
It's a big Frenchie community.
And it's crazy because my cousin just got a Frenchie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she loves that dog.
They're the best. Listen, they are such good companion dogs. Like, they helped me when I came home, for sure.
When she jumps in the bed, the dog will sit there and cry until she picks him up and put him on the bed right next to him.
They lovable dogs.
Yeah.
They're companion dogs. They're not working breeds, but they companion. Don't expect them to do that when somebody come in the house. But,
right. They ain't that type of dog.
They'll go out with you, though. You know?
For sure. So how important is a team having a 501c3? Like, talk about that.
Ooh, I'm going to say this. To the point where I purposely make sure that Mud Made is its own identity. Yeah, I founded it. Yeah, I may be the executive director because I want when I have my legacy, my kids, I want them to know what I have. Right. But it is its own identity. It needs its own vision. Everybody on that vision has to know what's going on too. So it's like, and it takes time. You have to protect it too.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Just like I was talking about being a giver, you have to protect it because people will come at you from different angles. So you got to protect your team, keep your team motivated. Because a lot of them are volunteers. Goodwill ambassadors are volunteers. Yeah. You have to pour back into them, see what it is that makes them like giving, make them like, you know what I mean? So it's very important. It's very important. To be honest, man, it is extremely important.
So I've helped out with nonprofits, and I had a hard time leaving my feelings at the door. And you run a nonprofit. So how hard is it for you to leave your feelings at the door?
I don't, though. I don't. I ain't gonna lie.
But does that become a conflict?
What do you mean? You got it.
Okay.
What do you mean?
So, kids, you were primarily with kids. So kids tend to open up outside of their parents. So if a child opens up to you, you run a nonprofit. You don't want to show favoritism towards one child over the next.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. And I'm glad you asked that question because I don't mind. Sometimes. We need that favoritism. That's what my pops did. You know what I'm saying? For me, that's what my mom, even when she would come home late from work, went to Walmart and got some M&Ms. You know what I'm saying? Just little things like we take kids to the basketball games. What we do is mentorships, workshops, and experiences. So those experiences, we want those kids to feel that. You know what I mean? Right. Now, when you're on a bigger scale, that's when that team comes in. Right. I may be making this kid feel special because I look like him. She may be making a little girl feel special because she never even knew that there would be a black woman on the radio. Right. That's the type of stuff me growing up in Atlanta I've seen. You know what I mean? It wasn't foreign for me to see black businessmen. I didn't realize that till I started leaving, really out of the country, and people was like, I ain't gonna, not dissing no other state, but it was some of these other states, you know what I mean? They was like, what, your principal was black? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Wow. You know what I mean? You feel me? And that makes a difference when they see it. So I kind of, when it comes to giving, that's the one thing that I don't have to detach my feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So if someone wanted to be a part of your organization, what would they need to do?
Okay, so you want to go to mudmademen.com, and then you can go. There's a link. And we'll email you back if you want to help out. You want to volunteer. You want to donate. If you got some ideas, you're an entrepreneur. You want to express something. Come to us. We'll help you do it. I'll make sure that you know how to at least get it written back off. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people do stuff, man.
Right.
I just had a guy, Freeway Feet. He's the guy that does shoes out here. He came to me. He was like, man, I got like all these clothes and shoes I need to get rid of. I'm about to just go pass them out. But we don't realize you can pass them out, but you can still be a good business person. Pass them out. Just like when you go to Goodwill, they still make a profit off of that.
They do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They give you paperwork too. But yeah.
And it ain't even about me making money. It's just you can only give so much by yourself.
Right.
They made those see, man, listen, taxes are made for us.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? They made those taxes for us. We just don't go and read them. You know what I'm saying? They actually tax benefits. So yeah, the 501c3 helps out with that. So
That is so awesome and amazing. So you said you have an event coming up, right?
We do. A game. We doing a listening party, another listening party. We just had one last night.
How was that?
Man, to be honest with you, I wish the people was here to talk for it. Like, man, we was rocking.
Well, do it some justice, Ferb.
Man, listen, we was rocking. A game, middle class raps. I'm telling y'all that. Go listen to it. Go listen to it. He here. He been 10 years in the game. You probably know about it. You know how I am with stuff. Like, you probably know about A game. I heard of the so many people that came through here with Time to Shine Radio. But nah, man, he's from St. Louis, so we did a show. DJ Smeezo, shout out to him. He came out there. Donnie B was out there.
Right.
And everybody had a great time, man. Everybody had a great time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what's the next event?
The next event, I think, so April we're releasing the album, but before that we're going to do another album release party. We got one in St. Louis and we got one in L.A. and then we're going to do one more in Atlanta. But that was the tester right there. And it went very well.
Okay. So you're going to do another one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, absolutely. We got other artists, you know.
Okay.
So we're going to do a lot.
Well, what's the goal with the artist?
So with the artist, honestly, like I said, I'm a writer. And I love being an artist, but I'm one of them artists that may not be, I'm going to say it like this, I may not have the certain discipline of compromise. And I don't say it's I dropped out of college too, so you know what I'm saying? I respect people that finish, but it's just one of them things that is like, nah, I want to stick with my vision.
Of course.
So for me, as an artist, I like to write. I do create my songs, and people like them, but I got to take my time because I want to be 100% myself. Right. That's something that's been with me so long. I don't, So as a manager, managing the other artists, I get to be creative. I get to do the events. I love doing events. Right. I get to, put stuff together and still, have a career with it too, and be the point of contact for a lot of things. So that's one of my goals, to be one of the go-to guys. I want to be like P. QCP. I ain't scared to say it. That's who, you know what I'm saying? I want to be like them guys where it's like, this the point of contact. You know what I'm saying? You
mentioned earlier that you're an investor. So what's a good part about being an investor?
Okay. So the good thing about being investors, the best thing about being an investor is the ROI, the return on your investment. You feel me?
I feel me.
That's the best part. But me particularly, I'm into real estate. I got a couple duplexes and also flipped some
trades.
No, well, I mean, shoot, man. I get to do what I love now because of that stuff. I like investing, but I get to do the writing and the music because of that stuff. Let me be clear, and giving back because of that stuff.
And how's the market right now?
It's up in Atlanta. Okay. It's up like crazy. It's up. I can't. I was with it too much detail. It's up, and I'm in the nice side of me, man. I need to raise some of the rents. But we're going to talk about that. That's the landlord part. I manage all mine because I want to learn, and it's not such a big portfolio that I can't. But, like, raising rent and things like that, like, this lady been living here for 5 years, but the market is going up. Right. So it's like, you're not making it.
And I've always wanted to ask a landlord that question. How hard is it for you to tell her, I'm sorry, but rent just went up?
Every year.
That part is tough for me.
It's tough
because I haven't raised this lady in a year and a half.
So she love you,
but she pays on time, and it's kind of like this is just one particular person.
Right.
She pays on time, and but it does gotta go, and that's the discipline.
Yeah.
I want to give, but I have to. It has to
Right.
make sense.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because shoot, I'll be taking care of my mom.
Right.
Give my mom the extra money if I could.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So out of everything that you do, Ferb, like, do you have a favorite?
You have
Yes.
to have that baby.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Traveling.
Traveling.
Okay.
Oh,
Traveling.
me too. I think it's a Sagittarius thing.
It opened up my mind so much
Mm-hmm.
to realize like how many different people are out there, and like now I'm completely open to the point where it's like you could come and start talking to me from a totally different belief, a totally different ethics, and I don't get as judgmental as I was. You know, being a Southern Christian, what I was before I started traveling a lot.
Come on, Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I kind of, like you said, Jesus, this is the example. When I was in Afghanistan, I'm going to make it quick. When I was in Afghanistan, I was talking to these Afghanis guys, of course, with a translator. And my tattoo it says, Jesus, remember me when you enter your kingdom.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they couldn't understand that word Jesus. And I was sitting there, 21 years old, and I'm like,
Yeah.
the American way. I'm like,
Right.
they know who Jesus is. I'm like, and I'm dead serious. Y'all gonna laugh, but I was like, Jesus. I was like, I'm in Afghanistan. They don't speak Spanish. You know what I mean?
You're
That's
not
how
in Mexico.
ignorant I was. I'm like, Jesus, and they was like, the dude. He's like, they don't know who that is. So I'm pulling out the Bible.
Yeah.
Right,
They
okay.
they don't know what that is, and I know that that can be a humbling but a confident thing at the same time, because it's like if that's what you believe in, it should show you need to be strong in your beliefs. But at the same time, there's people out there that never heard of some of the things that I believe in or the way that I live my life. So traveling, when that happened, it was like, oh man, there's a whole world out here, and I'm really small. I'm atomically small, which means that I can make a big impact, but I'm very small, and it keep that, man, I credit a lot to traveling.
So do you create content while traveling? And since you're behind the scenes, do you plan on doing a behind the scenes of your life?
Yeah, we already started working.
good question.
Shout out to Paisley Renee Photography.
Okay.
We've been documenting for about 2 years.
Wow.
Yep, we actually was documenting yesterday. So we've been documenting for about 2 years, and I'll just put out little content, use it for different businesses. Whether it's when I did bought a real estate, one of my last properties, I've documented the signing and little things. But really, my love for documentation, I think it comes from my grandma. She had, she could fill up this room with photo albums.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
In a VHS
Yeah,
cassette.
so like I like to document stuff, and also I want my kids to see like what really mattered. People gonna say what they say. I'm not trying to be perfect.
Right.
I am not trying to be perfect, but I definitely want when my kids get to that crossroads or doubting themselves, like at least this is in you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They gotta
And I
make
don't
it.
have kids, but when I do
Yeah.
have kids,
So you
When I
setting
do.
it up for the future. Okay, so how can everybody stay in contact with you, Ferb?
hey, y'all can hit me up at Composed by Furb. That's the Gmail is at Composed by Furb. That's how y'all can get at me.
Wait, that's the Gmail or the Instagram?
I mean, my bad. The Instagram.
Wait a minute.
The Instagram. Don't hit me on Gmail.
For business inquiries.
Do not hit me on Gmail. I am terrible. But if y'all hit me on the Instagram, I definitely will hit you back. It's at Composed by Furb. Yep.
That's what's up. Well, thank you so much, Ferb, for coming through today.
Thank y'all for having me, man.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, bro.
Like I told Mu Legend when she hit me up, man, it is an honor, man. I'm truly grateful. I'm truly grateful for y'all
They
hitting me
said
up.
it's an honor.
For
That's
sure.
cute.
For sure, man. Y'all been working. Y'all know people.
For
We
sure.
know people.
People know us.
People know us. What is
Yeah.
people know us? Yeah. People know y'all, so it's an honor.
I feel you. Thank you so much again, man. So we out here. Make sure y'all follow Ferb, Composed by Ferb, man. Holla at him. You interested in the 501c3? Hit him. Mud Made Foundation, right?
Yes, man. What Man
sir.
Foundation.
We lit.
All right.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We live. Time to Shine Radio. It's your girl, Mu Legend. You know what I'm saying? We out here, and I got my boy with me.
What up? It's the one and only Joel.
All right, and thank you so much. So we got our next guest. Oh my goodness. Hey, how you doing?
What up? What up?
You gotta speak into the mic.
What up? What up? What up?
Don't be scared. Don't be scared,
Nah,
Mr.
nah.
Chipwood.
What
So
up?
introduce yourself to the people.
So everyone, I'm Yoshi Chipwood. Just moved here to Atlanta about I don't know, just a few years. It still seems new, but yeah, I'm the local woodworker around here. Trying to step my game up and make it big out here.
Nah, but you've been doing good because you made a name for yourself out here.
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I'm right about you, sir.
Yeah.
It started slow, but I'm getting out there now.
No, that's what's up. So we gotta take it back. We gotta run the resume.
Okay.
So where are you originally from?
I'm from the Eastern Shore of Virginia.
Okay, VA all day.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And so how did everything start for you? Where was it?
Oh man, started when I was young. Again, like 5 years old. I grew up poor like everyone else, you know. When my parents, went out to work, I always just stayed at the house and tore up my dad's shoe boxes and built stuff out of them. So
that's creative.
Yeah. So I got in trouble for it at the very end, but at the end of the day,
it paid off.
Yeah, it paid off. It paid off. I'm buying a lot more shoe boxes.
Yep.
So you've been in Atlanta for, you said, what, 2 years?
I moved here in 2016.
Okay. What brought you here?
Well, for about 15 years, believe it or not, I'm still young. I did heating and air.
Okay.
So it was one of those things where it was something I thought I would never get into.
Yeah.
But I ended up growing into it, and I ended up becoming the man in that. So, companies all over the United States wanted me.
Yeah.
So I ended up just taking this job over here in Atlanta, and
that's what's up.
One thing led to another. When I moved here, 3 weeks in living here, the company that I work for, they ended up taking me to Texas. And I had to be one of the head guys over there at Baylor University.
Baylor.
Yeah, and being the young guy that I am, young black brother, they didn't want me to be the boss of people. So
they were intimidated.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I kind of just I backed out of it. I was in it for like 15 years, and my joints was already because I was a small guy. They kept me up in the attics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I can't do it no more. And I came back to Georgia, and next thing you know, I was working out of my garage, and my neighbors are the people that actually put me on to this. Okay. I've been in all of my neighbors' homes, building tables and doors or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And they just told me, I got to put my work online, and that's what I did. And
you never thought about it until they brought it to your attention.
Pretty much, yeah. And just over time, I just thought about the younger me, how I got to this point. I was like, man, I remember I used to do this. Maybe this is what I was called to be. Right. So yeah.
Okay. So how did you get the recognition of celebrities? Because that's awesome.
Well, again, just like my neighbors, I was posting my work on OfferUp, Let Go, Craigslist, Facebook Market, all that type of stuff. And I had got a call one night from a guy. I didn't know who it was at the time, and he wanted a quote on a closet. Okay. So what it was, I went there. I was like, look, it was a Friday night. I remember I didn't make no money that day. Oh, wow. Right? So, yeah, exactly. I was impressed. I was sitting on the couch. I got a call from some guy, hey, I need a quote on the closet. Mm-hmm. I was like, cool. It's late. So how about I come tomorrow around 10 o'clock in the morning, Saturday. Mm-hmm. And like I normally do, I have my tape measure, my notepad, and ready to rock.
Ready.
So I went to the spot where they called me at, and it was a whole bunch of other people walking around. The music was jumping and all this type of stuff. They made me sign an NDA. Okay. My mind like, look, I just want to get this quote.
Like, who is this dude? So doing that most.
Exactly. So they showed me the area where they needed done. So they showed me. I was like, shoot, man, I can bang this out real quick. Right. Let me go into the truck and get my tools, whatever. Let me go and throw a price at them. Right. Exactly. It's like, again, I ain't made no money that Friday night, so I'm trying to make something real quick.
Exactly.
So anyway, I go outside, but just before I go outside, all the lights shut off in this place. It was an old place, right?
Oh, wow. So
all the lights shut off, and it wasn't stopping me from getting the money. I was like, man, I'm still going to go out there.
Wow.
So, again, as I walked in the place, just so you know, there was a whole bunch of women walking around, too. Okay. So it wasn't a guy that I spoke to over the phone.
Okay.
So as I walk out, I now see a whole bunch of guys out on the docks. They're smoking their cigarettes and all that type of stuff. Well, in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe that's, one of the guys that I spoke with, you know? So as I'm walking out, this white, Beamer truck pull up. I'm sorry, not Beamer truck, Bentley truck pull up.
Oh, Bentley.
And it's tinted all the way around. In my mind, I'm like, man, I don't want to just peel, the tint back with my eyes real quick. So I'm just going to play it cool.
Trying to play it out.
Yeah, and I'm going to go into my truck and get my stuff.
Okay.
I get my stuff and I turn around. It was Tip walking out.
Okay. Mr. Harris.
So, exactly.
Anyway, I go back in, and just so you know, as I go back in, I'm nervous. And I'm trying to prep myself.
Oh, he's very humble.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, let me go in here and get my act right. And all the lights were still off.
Wow.
So I go in, and in my mind, it's my first time ever meeting, of course, Tip, anybody, celebrity. Like, so I go in and I introduce myself. Hey, I'm Chris or whatever. He shakes my hand and he give me that death look, that Tip give.
Okay. Yeah, and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So God, it made me nervous as I don't know what. Right. He was like, "Yeah, don't give nobody my number like that." And I was like, "Wow!" In my mind, like that was you that called me.
Wow.
Oh wow. So yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. So I left it at that. All the lights were still off, and in my mind, I'm all geek, but I'm not trying to show it.
Right.
But again, all the lights was off, so I'm like, man, ain't nobody gonna believe this. So let me try to record this real quick. But I'm gonna pretend like I'm,
on the phone.
No, I'm gonna pretend like I'm shining light for people. But I was really recording or whatever. So anyway, that's how that came about. I did the Trap Museum.
For sure.
Yeah, yes. I did the Trap Museum. The main focus was his closet in the Trap Museum. But I ended up staying, after they discovered that I just knew everything as far as electrical and all this other good stuff. So I ended up doing the lighting.
So you're the man behind, like the Grammy, the coat, all that.
That is me.
Shotgun, okay.
That is me. That is me.
The trap house inside. Yep.
I've been all up in the attics, man. So yeah.
So that was a big job. It came from a closet to like an actual.
That was a very big job. The craziest thing behind that, again, I gained some recognition. So many people came in, and I networked with them. And,
that opened up floodgates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I end up losing Tip's contact after that. However, different phone and all that.
Right.
But I stuck with it. I stayed, with my customers, the average customer, and again, just out of the blue, I get a text from Jadena or somebody like that.
Wow.
And so just things like that, again, open the door for me to just keep, striving to be the best, just keep reaching out to people. And honestly, believe it or not, I reached out to people on IG, and by the grace of God, they respond back to me. For some reason, I just be lucking out with people or whatever. People contact these guys all the time, and they don't respond. But I don't know, like that was just my luck, and here I am today.
So that was your destined path.
Right, and so you work with Tip, and he's a part of the VH1 family. And so you also worked with My Celebrity Dream Wedding.
Yes.
So which episode did you do?
I did episode. Man, it was the second to the last. Well, actually, I did both of the last ones. I'm sorry.
Come on.
So I signed a contract for 3 seasons. Actually, they're working on the second season now. So as of right now, I worked on many episodes. I'm just waiting for the season to drop.
So did you work on the one at the 12 Hotel?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that one. I did the one. Honestly, I don't know where these places are over here in Atlanta. But I recently did one with the giant gold frames. I don't know if you guys remember that episode. I think Courtney was the winner of that episode, actually. And it was the giant gold frames with the Versace flooring. So the gold, red, and all this type of stuff.
Okay, yes.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was me.
That was all
me.
you.
That was me.
Wow. Now, and then on stuff like that, do they give you is your name on the credits? When?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
so
for sure.
What was big about this one was it wasn't just my name on the credit, but it was also me acting or whatever. They gave me that opportunity.
Come on. Okay, more blessings.
Yes, more blessings.
Come on, blessings.
So just the acting, the credits, they shouted out my business several times or whatever. They wanted to make sure that they got it. So
wow.
It was like a 3-in-1, and I loved it.
So where does your inspiration come from?
Oh man, so many people, as of right now, I have 2 people that's, definitely my inspiration. One name is Anthony Watson. He's the husband of Keita Watson, Ladies of Atlanta.
Okay, yes.
So, and then BJ the Builder. He's with Modern Day Craftsman.
Okay.
And he's actually currently still working on Tip's house right now, doing some furniture or whatever.
Oh, because they just moved and then did the new whole house with the big bed and all that.
The crazy thing is, like I said, I had lost Tip's contact.
Right.
I bet you got back in
I
contact
got back
with
in
him.
contact with him. You know, and he didn't remember me.
Shut
But at the end of
up.
the day, it's cool because I get to work with BJ on that.
Right.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna tell you what I did at his home. Or
So
whatever.
did you do the closet with the steps that he couldn't find his gray sweater?
I'm a part of that.
Okay.
I'm a part of
Come
that.
through,
I'm a part of
come
that.
through.
I'm a part of
Okay.
that. But we're gonna keep that closed. I'm not gonna,
You're
say
not gonna open
what-
that.
Right,
Okay,
right.
that's what's
But
up.
yes, I was there.
Okay.
I was there.
So, what is like the best part about what you do?
Everything.
It got to be
you know?
relationships now.
that. But at the same time, again, this is my purpose, and
Right.
I'm a creator. I'm an artist now. I love what I do. I
For
love
sure.
taking nothing and turning it into something.
Right.
You know.
Visionary. Love it.
And I think a lot. People that ask me how do I build so quickly now and all this type of stuff. And for me, I'm one that thinks and I build in my head before I
Okay.
even get on the job. So when I get there, I already measured and cut and all this type of stuff. And they're like, how do you know this?
Right.
I already did it. It's to the point where I just go in there and put it together like it's a puzzle.
Wow.
So yeah,
dope.
that's the best part about it. I'm really weird. I could look at something and tell you what the measurement is just right off that without even pulling out my tape.
Doing it that long.
I'm one of them guys.
That's what we call beasts. Hello?
That's me.
That's me. So if someone wanted to render your services, what would they need to do?
Would definitely contact me. They can reach me through my email, kbcustomwoodworks.com.
Okay.
Of course, you can follow me on IG at Yoshi Chipwood.
Yoshi Chipwood. Okay.
And of course, Facebook at KB Custom Woodworks.
Okay. Custom. How'd you come up with the name?
KB is actually my son. His name is Carter with a K.
Okay.
Last name Bailey, of course. So KB Custom Woodworks. Everything business-wise that I've done lately has been KB.
Okay.
He's definitely part of my
Building
inspiration
that
also.
whole empire.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Is he interested in what you do?
He's very interested.
Okay. I figured that if you had to name him, but he could have just been a son and y'all
No,
cool. So.
Nah, this kid gets mad when I don't let him help or do anything like that.
How old is he?
He's 7 now.
Wow.
He's 7.
Young
Yep.
entrepreneur. You showing him the ropes. Huh?
I'm trying, He gets mad when I tell people that he's not helping me or whatever. So he's like, I am helping you and all that. But yeah, he cool.
That's amazing. So last question. If you had to sit with anybody and pick their brain, dead or alive, who would it be?
Steve Harvey.
Why?
Well, for me, he has the gift of gab for one thing. Gift of gab. I feel that he just knows ways in life to keep growing. That's the main thing. I feel he could give me the advice that's needed to grow this business the way it need to be. He'll also give me fashion advice as well because I'm slacking on that, I think.
Okay.
But at the same time, that's what I would pick his brain for. He would definitely, and I know for a fact, give me the right way, the right path to get on when it's time to grow or be bigger than what I am today.
For sure. I like that. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Yoshi Chipwood,
Most definitely.
for coming through and blessing us with your presence today.
definitely.
And give them your social media one more time.
Okay, and it's IG at Yoshi Chipwood, YOSHICHIPWOOD, Yoshi Chipwood.
That's what's up, y'all. Thank you so much. We time
Thank
to
you.
shine. We lit, y'all.
We out.
We out. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's a great day. We're going to do some cool pictures and cool photos.
All right.
And it's a wrap.